All right, what's going on, guys? Trev back again, here to bring you another video. This one's going to be doing another Walking Dead video for today, leading up to the 13th episode for The Walking Dead Season 9. In this one, we're going to give our thoughts first, with a Q&A, on a Negan-led Walking Dead. Alright dudes, so I hope you guys are doing well. Wanted to go ahead and do a new Walking Dead video for today since it's been a couple days for the Walking Dead TV series. We did our review yesterday for the latest issue of the Walking Dead comic book series, which was pretty sweet. And then there was the Game of Thrones trailer that we covered as well. And so it's been a couple days since Tuesday since we did a TV series Walking Dead video. So I thought we would do one. And it sounds like last week's episode actually did pretty good. Episode 12 got the views up a little bit to 4.71 million U.S. viewers. So that was great to hear. Happy to hear that things are kind of going in the right direction. And I thought it was a really good episode. There's some people saying, like, oh, it was a boring episode and stuff. But come on, man. You know, Daryl putting on the Whisperer mask and everything at the end. That was awesome stuff. And, of course, Beta's first appearance. And now this weekend, we're going to get to see Beta go after Daryl and the others. This is going to be cool, man. This is going to be really cool. So this one comes from express.co.uk. Link is in the description. And it's about Negan taking over The Walking Dead, or a Negan-led Walking Dead. Scores 2010 says, Negan for leader of Alexandria, we are still Negan. So it's funny to hear him say that, because it's like, it was just last year, you know, All Out War. If you think about it, this crazy thought right here, All Out War just finished last spring. But because the series has changed so drastically in one season, it's like a distant memory, right? You know, because it's like real world time, but then there's the television series time and its timeline, and they jumped ahead so far after that, 7.5 years or more after that, right? Like in a few months, 7.5 years in a couple months, they jumped ahead in the TV series in season 9, so that it's like wow, man, you know, it's like ancient history. The saviors are gone, all this stuff is gone. So we have a new Walking Dead. It's been a long time, of course, since those events happened. And really, Negan was not that bad anyway. I mean, sure, he killed Glenn and he killed Abraham, but you know, I mean, that's not that bad compared to what the Whisperers are going to do. it's probably nothing, right? So yeah, man, we're still Negan. So this is going to be cool to see. So this is what they had to say. These are their predictions, or what they think, from express.co.uk. It says, according to this week's edition of Talking Dead, some of the books in Negan's cell are the same law books Michonne used to study. This could be a hint towards what is to come for the former dictator, which he used to rule with an iron fist. Negan may be attempting to learn the law in order to lead in a fairer way. And he also does call Michonne out on kind of what she's doing as well, and kind of, you know, talks about him being a sounding board, and kind of criticizes her that she just vetoes. Like, you'll have all these people, you know, decide, like on this council, decide something, and then she'll just veto it anyway, and it won't matter, right? So that's pretty cool. Recently, it was announced Michonne will be exiting the show after her 7-year stint on the series. So yeah, so she'll be leaving next year, season 10, probably first half, probably, and then after that, you know, will Negan take over Alexandria? I'm thinking like maybe Aaron too. You got to watch out for Aaron too, because he's almost like our Rick 2.0 for the TV series version. He looks exactly like comic Rick. He's even missing the hand. He's got the beard going. He's an old school OG Alexandrian. So yeah, that's tricky to put Negan over him, right? With Michonne leaving the community, we'll certainly need a new leader, and as many of the new community members weren't around when Negan was his old murdering self, they may accept him as the new patriarch. So it's true that it is quite a few years later. They'll know his reputation, but they won't necessarily know the specifics about some of the stuff he did. And like I said, it really wasn't that bad anyway. Then we have here, could the show's next shocking step involve Michonne being outed from the community in order for Negan to take over? Or perhaps Negan is going to take Michonne out of the situation by force, killing her before claiming the community as his own. Either way, it looks like Negan is set to become the brand new leader of the show, And with Rick not exactly dead, but not exactly around to talk, he could return to the show and find his former nemesis now in charge of the safety of his friends. So, okay, so some predictions in here for what they're saying. All right, so, I mean, of course, okay, so we can't, I don't want to totally discount what they're saying, but you can't really have Negan go 100% back to the way he was, or you have to kill him. Like, okay, let's put it this way. If you have Negan go back to villain Negan, and he goes back and he kind of recycles his old storyline, he does all the same stuff he did before, and he goes around and kills people and does whatever, you're retreading old territory. The Walking Dead really doesn't do that. I mean, they try really hard not to do that. So you wouldn't want to have it retread. You can parallel, you can have environmental shots in the same locations, you could do things like that for Easter eggs, but you have to have the characters change, and you have to have things evolve and reinvent the series to reinvent itself. So I don't see Negan going back to his old self again. I think that Judith is right, and that at this point Negan has turned over a new leaf. I don't think he was ever that bad to start with. As we saw after he was gone, look what happened to the sanctuary. It just capsized. Nothing grows there. They were not able to produce anything, and they needed places like the Hilltop and Alexandria and Kingdom and stuff like this in order to survive, because they literally could not grow what they needed to eat, and they just couldn't do it, right? The Saviors were kind of a bunch of scoundrels in that way. So he was keeping them all in line. He was doing what he had to do, and certainly it wasn't easy, right? So with Negan going forward, I think you have to make him an anti-hero. You have to make him Vegeta to Rick's Goku. That's what you pretty much have to do that with him. And could he kill off somebody like Michonne? No, I don't think so. I also do not expect to see Michonne killed off at all. I expect to see her leave of her own accord, deciding to go, and for whatever reason, whatever happens, by the time the mid-season finale of season 10 rolls around, it'll probably make sense for her to leave. And she's been pretty strict lately. Like a lot of people, there's some comments here. Jack Frankie says, is anyone else really disliking Michonne this season, or is it just me? And a lot of other people said, like, they don't like Kang-era Michonne because she's so strict, but you can understand, right? There's empathy there for her, because after she lost Rick and this stuff's going on, a lot of people still think RJ's not real. So they think he was real and he was either killed or something happened. So now she's like just crazy strict and crazy, like control freak, like to the next level. Like, why did you guys leave out here? Now Jesus is dead. And she's not wrong. You know what I mean? Like, she's not wrong. That's true. That did happen. The whispers are now here because they didn't listen to her. But we also wouldn't want to watch a show where it's just like, Michonne's got everybody on lock and they're not allowed to leave the walls. What kind of story are you going to tell just behind the walls of one community? It's like there's nothing there for them to do or anything. So just on lockdown all the time. So, you're not going to have Negan kill Michonne before she leaves. I mean, if you're going to have Negan take over the show and be the lead, it's going to need to be in a, him becoming a good guy type, or somewhat, not all the way for him, a little bit further for him towards the good guy side of things, and kind of in that way. But it's going to be tricky because, so many of the characters don't trust him and everything. Even Daryl doesn't like him. Nobody likes him, right? Who likes Negan? Carol doesn't like him. Ezekiel doesn't like him. Daryl doesn't like him, which Ezekiel may not matter pretty soon, but, who else? I mean, he killed... Yeah, Rosita's not going to like him because of Spencer and stuff like that, and Michonne, obviously. So, could he lead Alexandria? I don't know, man. I don't know if it'd be Alexandria. He might be Aaron's right-hand man, right? I think something like that. Like, you could have Aaron be the leader of Alexandria with maybe this council group with Gabriel and some of the others if he doesn't get killed, whoever's alive in season 10. And then you have Negan there as kind of like part of their military or something like this, give him a job to do, and he can go out and have some fun, and we can watch him in the series like that. Sort of like, you had so many years where Daryl would be leading a lot of the episodes, but he was, like, Rick was always, the top guy, and Daryl was kind of there, and he'd go off and stuff like that. Something like that, but I don't see Negan being like the leader of Alexandria over Aaron or some of the others just yet. But I could be wrong. We'll see what happens. Tom's Nocturus, and leave your comments below. Let me know what you guys think about a Negan-led Walking Dead. Would you watch it? And do you think it'd be as good? Or how do you feel about that? Tom's Noctur says, Daryl could continue, or Daryl could date Connie. At least he wouldn't have to listen to nagging. So that's good. I like that one. Appreciate that. It's kind of in bad taste, but, we'll let it fly. It's again, on the scale, where's that here? It's a little bit bad taste. It's not too bad. It's sort of, come on. It's not that bad. Well, it's a little bad. Casino for Clams says, that skinning scene was so gnarly. So when Beta skins the walker and takes like the whole face off and like the whole back of its head and everything, the hair is like all gross and stuff. That was a nasty scene. The Whisperers, and that's one thing I like about episode 12. You really get the sense after you watch that the Whisperers' life is a disgusting life. I mean, it is not like a clean, nice, cool life to live. They're in the mud. They're eating worms. They're skinning walkers. They're pulling their heads off with bare hands, blood everywhere, and they're razor wiring people, and the others have to watch. There's heads on freaking pikes around the place. I mean, it's the Whisperers live a tough life for sure. Next, Epic Zombie Killer says, I can't believe there's only 4 episodes left. This season has gone by so fast. Yeah, man, absolutely. This season has been one of the strangest seasons of a series ever. I can't believe it turned out so good. I really can't. Changing the showrunner, changing almost the whole cast structure around, doing this huge time skip. I didn't think it was going to turn out this good. I thought the whole Rick thing might be the end of The Walking Dead. There's no Carl. I mean, all this, it's got like everything going against it. And it's still been awesome. It's really crazy, man. I mean, you could almost ask, like, how much more could go wrong with the series? In 1 year, Carl was killed off last year, which was huge, and then you have Rick leaving, Maggie leaving. This huge, all this stuff going on, man. It's really crazy what they've dealt with in the last year, but they've done an incredible job. 4 episodes left, and that's it, man. It's going to be a tough wait till next year. Again, questions about, Maggie returning, Michonne leaving, what's going to happen, good stuff. And also, it's a lot more different than it's ever been from the comics as well, too. Considering the comics are only 5 years into the zombie apocalypse, according to Robert Kirkman, something like that. And the TV series is way further in the zombie apocalypse than that, so it's way further ahead. I'm Joker28 says, there's no point in challenging Alpha because, number 1, you're not going to get the chance to defend yourself. And number 2, even if you win, Beta will just kill you. So, you see, he's got the idea. You can't really win against Alpha because then you're just going to have to face Beta, and nobody can beat Beta without a gun or without some kind of, I don't think anybody could without, some kind of like a crossbow or something. Daryl might be able to do it, but we'll see how that goes this weekend. Probably not even. At least not the first time. Puckett73092 says, so is someone going to explain why all those walkers at the end of the episode just walked right by Henry and Lydia with no disguise on at all? Well, I got the impression that Daryl and Connie had steered them in at just the right time and had maybe taken out some of the guards that were kind of in and around or keeping watch. And so they just kind of came in just at the right time when all that stuff was going on. Nice distraction, and then they kind of came over and got them out of there. So that was my interpretation of the scene at the end. I thought it was okay. I didn't have too much of a problem with it because I got the point of it. Sometimes with a TV series, you have to kind of look at it as what do you take from it rather than what does it exactly look like by itself. Amy Walker says, Trev, you look great, but you need more hair. So some people don't like my hair right now. Maybe it's too Alpha-esque. Some people think it's Alpha-inspired or something. It's not. I'm not trying to look like Alpha. Trust me. So, I don't know. I just, I had to it got so crazy. I don't know how Norman Reedus does it. I don't know how he has the hair like that all the time. It's crazy to deal with, and, it's really annoying, man. Like, it's just so, like, this is too much. Last one will be from Jesus Mansilla, who says, possible way to end the Walking Dead series. At the end of the 3rd Walking Dead movie, have Rick make his journey back to his original group, and in the last ever episode of The Walking Dead, we see Rick arriving back to his original group, who are all united, and the look on their face is complete shock and joy. And that would be the end of The Walking Dead, a happy ending. So, for Jesus, I guess a great comment I wanted to include in this one. I guess we'll use that one to end this video. It's very true. We were doing that video the other day, and they were kind of talking about the end of Rick or Rick's end after the 3rd movie. We can't say necessarily that The Walking Dead will have a sad ending, that the third movie will end with Rick's death. You know, we all thought this year we would see Rick's death, and we didn't. So we don't know how they're going to end the series. We don't know what we're going to see, you know, when that time finally comes about. But I don't think we can assume right off the bat, you know, Lucille, Negan, right off the bat, that that it's going to have necessarily a sad ending. We don't know if The Walking Dead is going to have a sad ending where everybody's dead. Maybe it won't. Maybe AMC decides at one point, okay, let's do that, like Jesus Mancilla's idea here, great idea. You have a happy ending, and then you do some other kind of spin-off or something after another time skip. I don't know. Like way in the future, like The Walking Dead future or something, and you go way further ahead, like another 10 or 20 years ahead or something. I don't know. Jeez, man, that would be cool. I don't know. Maybe that's too much. But you guys get what I'm saying. We should not assume that it's necessarily going to have a sad ending at the end, even though it sounds like, yeah, that would make, that's probably what we will. But even then, you never know, right? You never know what they're going to do. So we'll have to just wait and see how the whole thing runs its course and eventually does end. And if the third movie is that's it for Rick and that's it for Andrew Lincoln, okay, well, I think they've shown this year that they can keep the brand going. They can keep The Walking Dead alive without Rick. The question that we always had wondered, can they do it or not? No, they can't do it. But it's like, well, they kind of have done it, as strange as it is. And I'm not happy about that. You know, I like to see Rick in every episode just as much as everybody else. But it is what it is. And, they got to do what they got to do. And they've shown that they can. So let me know what you guys think about that one too and the ending of the series. So that'll be it for the video today. Leave the comments below. Negan leading The Walking Dead. What would you think about it? The end of the series, how will it eventually end? Can you see a happy ending here, or does it have to be a sad ending? That'll be it for today's video, guys. Leave the comments. Let me know what you think. Send some more questions. We can do at least one more before Sunday night's new episode, maybe tomorrow or Sunday morning. As always, this is Trev, and I'm saying peace. I'll see you guys soon.